welcome to Carol's Universe Tarot Readings from the Heart. Thank you very, very much for joining me on your live spread reading. Second time I'm trying to record this now, bloody well using the other camera, and it seems I'm really disappointed actually, a bit disappointing in that new camera because it doesn't have much of a battery life, and I don't know whether I need to try and get some form of, I don't know whether my adapter for this Canon one that I'm using at the moment will work on the other one. We'll have to see, because I really do prefer the picture quality on that one, but this picture quality is not looking too bad. I've managed to try and get all of the cards in. So yeah, anyway, enough of my wailing on this thing. I'm just grateful I've got a camera, I guess. Yeah, so this is your live spread reading. We did one, I think last November, December for you guys. Let me explain what this live spread reading is all about. So the live spread focuses on 5 areas on your life. By the way, this reading is for Taurus, Sun, Moon and Rising signs, okay? So yeah, focusing on 5 areas of your life. They come in groups of 4, okay? So it's in sections of 4 cards. So here we have your personal situation, personal life. Here we're looking at your home life. This one here is focused on your career. This one here is focused on love. This section here will be focused on the future, and this is your advice card. Now, at the top of each section of 4 cards, you'll notice you have 1 card just above everything else. This is called the key card. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, each of these key cards in each of the different sections of your life spread reading, Taurus, what this focuses on is either an influence that you're feeling now, you might have felt this in the past, or you're going to feel it in the future. It's something, it's somebody around you, it's a situation around you, it's a situation that you're involved in. It might be something that's external to you, it could be anything, but it's something that you're either directly involved in, it's something that you're doing, it's something that somebody else is doing in your life, it's somebody else in your life. It just depends on what it is, but it's definitely an influence or something around your life that you're experiencing in the past, present or in the future, okay? Usually it's present future, to be perfectly honest with you. I hope you can see the cards. The sun is out today, and it sometimes drowns out the lighting on the cards. So yeah, we've got the influence cards here. Underneath we've got the 3 cards, 1, 2, 3. Now this can represent past, present, future, or it can be present, present, future, or future, future, future. Now, with the life spread, it's important to note that not everything needs a past, and certainly not everything needs a future, because some needs a present, because some of you guys might not be experiencing these things at all, and these are things that might just come in. The thing with the life spread, you always need a future. It's always got to be a future position, always, because there's got to be a natural progression. We couldn't have past, present, past, for example. You couldn't have that. You need a past, present, future, future, or just future, future, future. Okay, everything's got to have a future. The final thing I want to tell you is, to your right, we have what is called the anchor. Okay, and these are called the anchor cards. They're the outcome cards. So it shows in all 5 areas where everything should be heading to. And they're all made up of major arcanas. I'm using the Witch's Tarot because I absolutely adore the artwork on this. And you'll find with most tarot decks that everything is kind of based on the Rider-Waite symbols, on the Rider-Waite illustrations, because the Rider-Waite illustrations, I'm using a mix of Rider-Waite for the actual life spread and the anchor for and the major arcana for your anchors. Okay, we use major arcana because obviously they hold the heaviest weight. So whenever you get a major arcana, we know majors are bigger than pips, bigger than court cards. They hold the biggest influence, and that's why majors are used to show how everything will resolve itself, because the majors can deal with a lifetime, whereas pips can deal with sort of everyday stuff. Okay, the majors, these effects can last you forever. I mean, there are certain pips that will last a lifetime, things like the 5 of Cups, 3 of Swords, 10 of Swords. Those energies can last a very, very, very long time, but usually what we're finding is what I find is that the majors do hold the greatest weight, which is why they're used as the outcome cards. So here we've got the Chariot, which is card number 1 in your anchor, and this represents this section here, the personal situation. This shows how everything should resolve itself with that card. But also, just to let you know, the number 1 card is actually your foundation basis card. So this should show where everything is right now with you, or how you're dealing with stuff right now, what's going on in your life right now, Taurus, Sun, Moon and Rising. Now, Yeah, so, oh God, I've just forgotten what I was about to say there. So yes, this card is not only your foundation basis, it shows how everything should resolve itself in the personal life situation area. We've got the High Priest, which is the Hierophant, and this shows how everything should resolve itself within the work section. The Moon card, which represents the love section, how everything should resolve itself in that area. We've got Temperance in the centre, which is the central theme card, card number 4, which shows how everything should resolve itself in terms of your home life. The High Priestess, which shows how everything should resolve itself in terms of your future. Now, these two cards here, the Wheel of the Year, which is the Wheel of Fortune, is card number 6 in the anchor, and this should show how a lot of you guys wish for things to happen, or wish for things, or are wishing how everything would go in terms of your life in general, your life spread in general. And the final card is the Magician, and this really is just the summing up of everything, and it shows how everything should go. So what direction, you know, everything in the life spread, where it's all heading, how it's all heading for you guys, okay? So even if you had a negative section, for example, say this was a negative section within your love life, and say the card here showed a positive major arcana, it would say that no matter what you were going through, if it was negative and not very nice, it would show that there would be a positive resolution. So the anchor is really, really, really important when we're doing these readings, because it really does show how things should really resolve themselves going forward. So let's make a start. So we have the Chariot here. Let's just pick this card up and show you guys. Hopefully you can, it's beautiful artwork, isn't it? I love the Witch's Tarot, one of my favourite decks, amazing. The Chariot is showing up as your foundation basis. Now, you know, there are certain cards you get that are really ambiguous because they have several meanings. They don't just mean the one thing, they can mean several things, which is why I always say when clients come for readings, try and, you know, I don't need your life story, but ask a straightforward question so I can give you a straightforward answer. So, you know, some clients will come and they'll say, tell me about love. Fine, okay. So I could draw a card, or I could do a 10-card Celtic cross reading on that and find that maybe with the 9 of Swords, the client's worried, or somebody's worried around love. It might be an air sign. If the client isn't an air sign, it might be somebody else. It might be the partner. Or it could be that there is a difficult situation going on in that client's love life presently. However, we can get a card that comes up that doesn't really tell you that much about love, okay? So it could show up as, say, the Chariot in the centre. Now, the Chariot means, one of the meanings of the Chariot is progress, but the other one means being pulled in 2 directions. It can also mean an overly confident, arrogant, egotistical male figure or egotistical individual. It can show a Cancerian individual. There's all sorts of things that that card can show in terms of love. And the Chariot isn't really a card based on love, it's based on the military. So it's based on actions that we take. Chariot is based on willpower, force of will, confidence, tunnel vision in a way, and the ability to overcome an obstacle. So there's all sorts of things I could tell that client, which takes my time up, because the client didn't say to me, I am single, will I find love? So therefore, maybe I could look at that Chariot and say to the client, it looks like at the moment you might be on a quest for love. You know, are you going out? Are you enjoying your life? Are you travelling around? Are you going to different venues? Is there somebody that potentially you've got your eye on? That type of thing. I need a standpoint on a reading. Just, you know, I'm single, will I find love? End off. That's it. Straightforward. Well, the reason that I'm saying this is because the Chariot in your personal life can mean many things at the moment in terms of how you're feeling. Some of you guys might be feeling really driven. Some of you guys might be trying to control how you feel as individuals because something might be tearing you apart. The Chariot is based on all sorts of things. Insecurity, being in 2 minds, being pulled apart, being taken in 2 directions, needing to have a certain level of self-control over a situation, trying to overcome an obstacle. The horses here, can you see this Chariot here and how he is smacking the life out of them horses? I know it's naughty that he's doing that, but, you know, he's trying to keep them into control. He's trying to bring them into alignment. So for some of you guys, you might be trying to bring something into alignment within your life, okay, right now. So to me, it would suggest, in a way, with your personal situation, for some of you Taurus people, you might be feeling a sense of feeling out of control. And that sense of probably, it depends on what it is within your personal life, Taurus. But for some of you guys, it might be, I don't really know what I'm doing, or I'm getting, there's conflicts going on in my life, and I'm just trying to keep everything together at the moment. Because really, the Chariot is a card about trying to keep everything together, because you're the one. If you want to overcome a difficulty or an obstacle, you're the one that needs to do that. Okay, if you're going to achieve goals, you're going to have to stay in control. And the Chariot often means staying in control of our fears. You'll be surprised how many of these tarot cards actually mean overcoming fears or staying in control or not letting our fears overcome us. And the Chariot is definitely one of those cards. It's about not letting your fear overcome you and reining those fears in. The fears are the horses. But as the one horse is black and one horse is white, it says I'm being pulled in two directions as well. I'm being pulled towards one area and I'm being pulled towards another. And I'm trying to put everything into alignment so everything works together. Sometimes I see this card as being the card of carrying baggage. So it can be a card of a man who enters your life, but he's got a lot of baggage with him. The baggage is the horses. Okay, so he carries his issues towards you, that type of thing. But I feel in the main, this card for you guys in terms of, and because it's like a miniature reading, we can't go into everything with the Chariot. It just takes too long. But I feel that personally right now, you guys are aiming or working towards aligning who you are. You're working towards probably at the moment overcoming some obstacles. I feel that you guys are working towards, being far more confident as individuals, Taurus. But I do feel that there are obstacles in your way for some of you guys at the moment. And I feel that if you could just draw and rein in your own fears, you'd probably get to where you want to go a lot quicker. It's interesting because your personal situation shows a fight in your key card, Five of Swords. When you get the Five of Swords, it's not the greatest card to get, especially as it's an influence that you might be feeling now, or it's an influence that's going to be coming in, all right? So the Five of Swords is one of those cards where we look at conflicts. It can be jealousy. It can be feeling powerlessness, or feeling that somebody's got power over us. But you know what the funny thing is? I don't actually feel that this Five of Swords is that bad in your personal situation, because I feel that the person who is holding the swords is you. So I actually feel that that card actually means, in terms of your personal situation, Taurus, that you're going to be overcoming obstacles. If you look at these two people here, this guy, it was an unfair fight, wasn't it? But who was it unfair to? It was unfair to him, because it was 2 against 1. This is what a lot of people don't see. And this is why I often look at this card now in a lot of ways, and I see that when I get this in a reading, it simply means for me a lot of the time that you have actually overcome your adversity. Now, because it's swords, we know that swords are to do with ideas and communication. So sometimes this card can mean that you put someone down verbally. Okay, there's a verbal altercation and you're the one that gets the upper hand verbally. Sometimes this can mean that you overcome someone or something with your ideas, with your thoughts, with what you are orating. Because remember, swords are air, so they're words and they're ideas that go through the air. They communicate themselves through the air, so it can be sending an email to someone, putting somebody in their place, putting the fear of God into an individual. But all in all, Taurus, for me, this card can also mean overcoming your fears. Okay, so either way, whatever this is, whether there are conflicts with others, whether it's a conflict within yourself, where we can see the ideas, the swords, struggling ideas that you overcome, I feel that you overcome these things. I feel that the energy coming in, or that you're going to be experiencing, or that you're experiencing now, is victory. And I do see victory here with the Five of Swords, and it's in your corner here. Because underneath this, and when you do a life spread, everything's got to match up to the key card. So everything that you see in the key card has to be linked to these cards here. So yes, there is the overcoming of a fight. I feel that you win. I feel there's a victory in your personal life that you're going to be achieving. Okay. And I feel around this victory, you have had to fight against others, because we've got another fighting card, the Seven of Wands. Now, the Seven of Wands is where you are trying to either resist, deflect, you are saying no, you are being resilient, You are standing up for what you believe in. You are defending your territory, as it were. You're standing up for what's right. You're standing and you're staying in control, and you're saying, I'm not moving from here no matter what. You look at this card, and it's almost like there's a load of pointing fingers, or somebody's really trying to get at this person, and they're really trying to fight them off. So I do feel that you guys, some of you guys, around this Five of Swords, around this victory, in the past it could have been that you've had to really stand your ground in order to get this, in order to see people off, in order that people have backed down away from you. You've really had to stand in your power, and you've really had to stand up for what you believe in, I feel, with this Seven of Wands card. And it's been hard. It's been a difficult battle, but I feel that you've overcome it, because we've got the Ace of Swords here. The Ace of Swords is a beautiful card, because what the Ace of Swords really says is that you are cutting through adversity, okay? It's the card of clarity. So something has been made clear. Something has been made obvious. It's the card of communication that opens up. It's a card that says, you know, you overcome a difficult struggle within your life in order to make something better for yourself going forward. And I do feel that, you know, with this Seven of Wands, we can see the conflict. But the conflict is you are actually holding your own. And we can see, if you look at these cards here, you've got two people here who are fighting off others. So I do feel that there has been a fight here, some conflicts. And I almost feel that for some of you Taurus people, you may have felt that you were the only ones, or you may have felt that others were against you, and you've had to really stay the course. I've just got the thing that you've had to stay the course with something in your personal life, whatever that situation might be. Okay? But we see that there is a resolution here, and when you get the resolution cards, Ace of Swords is definitely one of those resolutions, because the aces always represent fresh hope, new beginnings, fresh starts, the new realisation of something, the opening up of an idea. Okay, especially with the Ace of Swords, because swords are to do with the ideas and aces are the potential. You know, we can look at the potential for communication, potential for an idea, the opening up of an idea, the opening up, and even the opening up of a struggle. But I don't feel that that is the case here, because this card can also be to do with severance, so severing ties. Okay, I feel in a way that in some of your personal lives, because we've got a card that ends in such serenity here in the future, I feel that this is a I feel that this is something that's happened that you have had to kind of say, you know what, I kind of need to make a truce on this, because I often see the Ace of Swords as being the card of a truce as well, if that makes any sense, because you decide to sever ties with something, you decide to cut something out because it's for the best. Now that doesn't mean that you for me with the Ace of Swords, that you actually do that at the end of the battle. You can do it midway. So you can be fighting and fighting and fighting with this Seven of Wands. But then the Ace of Swords might be the case of that you reach a point of clarity and you say, actually, do I really need to carry on fighting for this? Do I really need to carry on struggling with this person? So when I look at the card, and especially this one, it takes on a whole new meaning. Because even though this person looks smug, and because they've overcome, they've won in a fight against their adversaries here, it could be that this person is smiling because finally they have been able to disarm their enemies. Because they have disarmed them. The swords are on the floor. Can you see those two people and their swords are on the floor? They've put their swords down. They've been able to disarm these individuals here. Through wit, through intelligent thinking. Somehow, I mean, look, it's 2 against 1, right? 2 against 1. What are the odds on this person disarming what were obviously enemies? What are the odds on them disarming these people? They've put down their swords, and they've even got a third. So they've got 3 swords that they're holding up here. And yet there are only 3 of them. So this person takes the lion's share of everything. Somehow, some way, this person managed to disarm this individual. And it's aligned with the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords could have been a new idea. a new idea that came to you, a new way of conversation or communicating over this situation has come to you and resolved it, because the Ace of Swords can also be the card of resolution. Because you find the clarity, so it could be that you found clarity in an idea. You are fighting here, Seven of Wands. But the Seven of Wands can become exhausting energy. It's like, you know, there's just no let up on it. It's like these people here, whoever's holding the wands there, it's like, kill the witch, kill the witch, kill the witch. And you're like, no. You're holding up your wand and you're like, piss off. I'm standing my ground. You're not going to get past me. But then how long does that last for? How long does the fight continue for, Taurus? So much so that with that Ace of Swords, I feel here that there was some form of resolution made. And I think it was peaceful, because I think it came from a very clever idea of how to solve this situation here. So we're not going to do this past, present, future. I feel that this is more, there was a fight. You were holding your own against many. You probably got exhausted or tired, had enough. You found a new way to deal with the situation with that Ace of Swords that was going to actually improve the situation, which ends up with the Nine of Pentacles. And the Nine of Pentacles is basically a card about comfort, success, gain, holding on to one's treasures. I feel that there was some form of truce arrived at here. And because we've got a Nine of Pentacles card at the end, this is money, this is treasures, this is materials. If you look at this woman, she holds on to what she's got. She's sitting pretty, okay? She's very comfortable in her garden. She's got a nice little bird with her, falcon. She's concentrating on new things. She's concentrating on developing new skills, because this is the art of falconry. She holds a glove and there's a falcon. So she's focusing on a new type of job or a new type of thing that she's doing here. So for some of you guys in your personal life, it could be that you've left a job. You've left people to it. It could be that you were just struggling too much in a job and you just decided with that Ace of Swords, you know what, I'm going to cut this because this isn't doing me or my health any good. And maybe I'll work from home. Maybe I'll just do something for myself. Maybe I'll just focus on new things with the falcon. Maybe I'll focus on new things that give me happiness and financial abundance and, you know, comfort. But I'm not dealing with this. And therefore, the overall outcome, the overall energy that you're dealing with coming in is that you overcome your aggressors, or you overcome people who have been difficult with you. But I don't feel that this is through anger. I feel that this is through complete and utter intelligence and knowing how to get what you want in the best and most gentle of ways. A lot of people will probably disagree, because the Ace of Swords can be seen as a card that suggests some form of difficult. It can suggest the beginning of a struggle. But I don't feel that it is, because if it was the beginning of a struggle, I'd be looking for a different card here. Instead, it shows me a beautiful card here, where things seem far gentle. This is not a gentle card. But because we've got this, it says that a resolution has been found on this, and therefore you get this, the Nine of Pentacles. Because your energy is that you have overcome the adversity that you were facing. But I feel that you did it here with this Ace of Swords, clever thinking, new ideas in order to resolve the issue. And therefore you get this. You've either had money come in as a result. It could have been a legal fight. We don't have legal cards, but swords are to do with the truth. And the truth is to do with legalities. This is why the swords often deal with legal situations. So it could have been a legal situation, for example. Maybe with this Nine of Pentacles, you got the lion's share of something. It was through your cleverness that you managed to get the lion's share. I see real success here. The overall outcome is the Chariot. And for me, the overall outcome being the Chariot is really saying, you know, what, I'm moving forward. It shows with the Chariot, it says, you know, it's one of those beautiful cards that really says that you can have anything that you want as long as you are resilient, as long as you defend yourself, as long as you take risks, as long as you keep yourself controlled. And I feel the control shows with that Ace of Swords. The idea, the new idea that has come, that has catapulted everything into this situation here. Because one has had enough of this. You don't get really anywhere with this Seven of Wands. because it shows somebody forever battling. You need a card afterwards to show how the situation is resolved. And we do see resolution because we've got an Ace of Swords, which leads on to a beautiful, beautiful contentment with that Nine of Pentacles. Okay? Your overall outcome is the Chariot. And I see that this is you guys remaining confident and in control of yourselves. I even get a renewed sense of confidence with that Chariot card going forward. Okay, because you become the charioteer, somebody who knows that through intelligence, through inner strength, through determination, you can overcome anything. You see determination here, but there has to be a resolution. You can stay determined all you like when you're in a fight, but the problem is some people just won't let up. So you need something that cuts the bow, and that's your Ace of Swords. That leads you on to this. Okay, so you may not have won the battle entirely, but you certainly won the war. Because you end up with this, Taurus. And this is you, because you're Pentacles. So this is you guys here. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful reading. Let's go quickly to the other areas now. We're going to have a look at your home area. Very interesting area that is there. Because we're seeing Judgment. Okay, now Judgment is all about resurrection. It's all about fresh starts. This card can also relate to getting news out of the blue. I've seen this card show up when somebody gets just some news that they weren't expecting. Okay, and I feel that for some of you guys, it could be exams. Could be news about exams that you weren't expecting. It could be for some of you guys that you are going away to college, for example. So it could be that you have been applying for university places and suddenly you get news out of the blue. This card can actually show a surprise that comes to you. So I feel that the energies around you in your home life will be perhaps unexpected news coming in, unexpected calls, perhaps something that you've been waiting on that suddenly comes around again. This card can also represent decisions that need to be made. And I feel that this is more, I feel that it's something that comes in, because when you get the Judgment card, it's often about a higher calling, or it's often about a wake-up call, or it's often about receiving that news that you weren't expecting to receive or that you have received out of the blue, and you've got to do something about it. Okay, you've got to do something about it. So when you receive that news, when you receive that call, when you receive that, communication, then Judgment can mean, okay, I've received this now I've got to make a big decision on this. Okay. Around this, we do see the Page of Wands. Interesting. Pages usually are messages that we receive. But the Page of Wands is not only a message to do with career, so it could be around this judgment that you need to make. I feel this is a big decision you guys are needing to come to here. Okay, Judgment and Justice are very, very strong, similar cards, to be honest. Because Justice talks about trying to create balance and harmony through a decision that needs to be made. So it's the right thing to do. It's the fairness card. It's weighing up the pros and cons to reach a fair and balanced decision. Whereas Judgment is, right, you need to make a decision right now. You need to make a big judgment on something. It can be the card of feeling judged or being held to account for something that you might have been doing in the past. They're both cards that are related to legal things, but they're also cards that are related to universal law, universe spirit, and what we're held account for. But in the main, with your home life area, Taurus, I feel that there's a big decision. You've received some news or a call or something like that, and you need to make a big, big decision about it. Because we've got the Page of Wands here that follows that. So the Page of Wands for me, often this is a card about a very enthusiastic kid, somebody who enjoys adventures, enjoys life, enjoys going out having a good time. They've got a lot of youthful energy, they're very passionate, all of that type of thing. Usually though, it's also a card about starting afresh, because this page is young and he's going on a new adventure. So I feel that there's a new adventure around this judgment that you need to make a big decision on, which is why I feel for some of you guys it could be about leaving home, moving home. So I just dropped my pen. I'm going to get the tail end of the comb. Actually, we're not going to get a tail end of the comb. I'm going to pick up the, because that just looks kind of weird. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. I feel for some of you guys this is about leaving home, or your children are leaving home. Because this is the fresh start. Somebody's going out on a new adventure due to a call or something that's come around again. So something new that's happening here with the Judgment card. It seems that there are fresh adventures. But somebody seems to be worried around this because we've got the Nine of Swords. So we see a fresh start here, or news that's been received, and there's worry with that. Okay? But the outcome says, with the Six of Wands, you overcome that. Okay? So if this is you guys in your home life, and say, for example, the Judgment card means, because when you get cards like Judgment, Wheel of Fortune, they're always changing cards. So things that denote major changes happening in our world, in our lives. We see something that will precipitate a major change with that Judgment card as your general energy coming into your home life. Around this, we see either some news that you're going to receive or you've received, or it will be a new adventure. So there's something new that's happening here. Okay, it's a fresh start, new adventure. Could be new career. Could be going away to college. Could be anything. But we see there's movement with these two cards here. Around this Judgment card, there seems to be worry. So around this fresh start, around this big decision that needs to be made, there is worry. Real worry. Because I feel it's coming out of a comfort zone. We see two cards here, Judgment and that Page of Wands, that both speak about coming out of a comfort zone. Judgment can also speak about coming out of a Judgment's comfort zone, because the Judgment card involves people who have been asleep for a very long time. When you are sleeping, you are comfortable. But when you are woken up, you come out of the comfort zone. Does that make sense? So it's coming out of a comfort zone. We see around this a new adventure. Youthfulness, happiness, excitement. But there seems to be worry. So it could be a child here, for example. So if any of you older people are watching, it could be that your kid's going away to college and you're worried. And this could be you in the outcome waving that child off, because you can see that this person... So in the home, they are a child, but they leave a man, if that makes any sense. So for some of you guys, it could simply be, you know, you've got an 18-year-old kid and they're going off to college. And this might be you in the centre here worrying about them. Okay? You're worrying about your child going off, because it's time to let them go. It's time to come out of that comfort zone and let the child go. There's the kid, there is you worried, but there is you waving off that child, because the child here becomes a man here in the future, and they're moving out of the comfort zone and into the big wide world. Okay? Alternatively, it could be you. There's definitely some form of a change for some of you guys happening here, and there's worry around it. But in the outcome, you actually do overcome those worries, because we've got that Six of Wands. And whenever you get the Six of Wands means confidence. So if any of you guys are worried about taking a trip, or worried about going somewhere, or doing something new within your home life, for me the Six of Wands says it can either be where you're waving somebody off like a child, or I feel that it's that you decide to step into your confidence, because the Six of Wands means to be confident, and it also means to be fearless. Okay, it is a card about moving forward. Okay, confidence in yourself to move forward. All right, having people that love you, knowing that you're number one, knowing that you can do anything, and that their life is filled with lots and lots of possibilities. So I do feel that in the end this resolves itself very, very nicely with that Six of Wands energy. And the overall outcome shows us temperance. And that's a beautiful card for that reading to end on. Because what temperance says is that you put things together. Okay, for some of you guys, it could be that you're worried about doing something new. And if you look at the temperance card, the temperance card shows an angel who is has its hand on two cups. So it's trying to kind of balance things through, but it's also got its toe dipped into the water. So it's also going to try something out. It's trying to work on something here, and it's going to test the waters on something. So it's going to give something a go. So this can often be the card that represents giving things a go, giving them a chance, trying them out. And for some of you guys, it will be, you know, with the Judgment card, something comes in, it's new. All right, it's going to take you out of a comfort zone. This probably involves a new adventure. It could be even going abroad. You might be worried about it with the Nine of Swords, but then in the end, you sum up the confidence to go forward. and give it a try. So you might be worrying and saying, you know, I don't know, I don't really want to do this. I don't really want to, you know, take a chance because I'm too afraid. But it shows you plucking up your courage here with the Six of Wands. And therefore, with the Temperance card, you're going to give it a go. The overall outcome is, I'll give it a go then. I'll see how it goes. Might not be that bad. I'll dip my toe in the water and see how this works out. For some of you guys, it will be that you kind of average out and kind of temper out your feelings about a loved one moving away with the Temperance card, because the Temperance card means to temper, so it means to kind of cool down. So you might be feeling really heated here at this person going away here, but you eventually cool down and kind of work through your feelings. We'll have a quick look at your, where should we go to next? I'm just trying to think. Let's have a look at your career. We've got the Wheel of Fortune showing here. Wheel of Fortune is usually a card about changes outside of our control. So when you get the Wheel of Fortune, it's 50-50, it's fated, it's changes that come in via the universal influences. It's things being up and down. It represents things like uncertainty. In terms of career, there could be changes coming into your career. Now, this could be an internal thing, internal structure thing, because we see changes here happening. All right, so this card can relate to things that you haven't predicted, so things that suddenly come in that have been, you know, of a surprise to you. All right, this could be that you are, you know, going to a new job, for example, or it could be that you're leaving a job. There's a turning point. The Wheel of Fortune often represents a turning point in our lives, and contrary to popular thought, Wheel of Fortune, just because it's upright, doesn't always mean for the better either. Sometimes it can mean that something just comes into your life to give you a life lesson, and then it goes out again. Some change is invoked in your life in order to help you move on or help you to change from one sphere to the other. It just represents a change. So I feel within your career, it's either some of you are leaving a job, some of you, there might be changes within your job, because around this we've got the moon. So we can see the moon here, and the moon for me is not one of my favourite cards within the tarot, because it represents mystery. And it represents uncertainty, and it represents worry and anxiety, and, you know, it can represent having sleepless nights and intense fears. I feel that there are intense fears for some of you guys going on. Dilemma, doubts. There are doubts, I feel, for some of you guys in terms of your career. It could be that, you know, you're in, and you know, when you look at the Wheel of Fortune, if this is an influence that's coming in for you, then it's saying things are going to go through a massive change. Something will happen to bring forth a change. And I feel it will be a good change, because you've got the Sun as your outcome card here in your career section. So we do see real worry here, some real doubts around your career. There's a lot of uncertainty. I mean, that could be in any sphere. For some of you guys, you could have heard it on the grapevine that they're, you know, that they're going to be, you know, making people redundant, giving people their final paycheck. And for some of you guys, there might be some real fears around that, because, you know, we're nearly at the end of August. We'll be in September, October, November, December, 4 months before Christmas. It's like, well, you know, is September the best time to be looking for a job? That type of thing within the recruitment world. So there's definitely, I feel, a lot of worry here. And I feel that it's causing frustration with the Eight of Swords sitting right next to it. The Eight of Swords is often a card where one feels that they are blocked at every turn. One feels that they are suffering from real restrictions with a particular thing or a particular person. As it's a career, it can be that you're feeling that your hands are tied. This can also be with the moon in terms of work. It can be people. It can be hidden enemies. Or it can be, you know, these dogs are barking because they sense something. They sense they sense some form of, how can I say? There's a sense of trepidation. There's something in the air. There's something in the night that they are afraid of. They're barking at the moon because they have this, you know, this extra sensory thing going on with themselves, where they just sense something not very good, or they sense something to be fearful of. So for some of you guys, it might be within the workplace that there is a sense of dread, and it can be around others, because the moon card can mean hidden enemies as well, that you can't quite see but you can feel. So it can be that you know who people are, but you don't know what they're up to. And maybe they've got you on lockdown here with the Eight of Swords. So for some of you guys, you might be going through a sense of bullying, even within the workplace. Because if I was to read it as people, I would say perhaps here there are enemies. You don't know really what they're up to, what they're going to be doing next. And I got you on lockdown here with the Eight of Swords. And when you get the Eight of Swords, somebody's basically, somebody's tied this woman up here. She didn't do it all on her own, somebody did it to her. And they put the swords around her. As a double kind of warning. So I get a sense that for some of you guys, you might be facing some bullying within the workplace with these cards. If that's not the case, and it certainly doesn't have to be, I feel that for some of you guys, you know, there is anxiety because you've had enough of a certain regime. You've had enough, you know, of a certain way of doing things within the workplace. You might be feeling quite oppressed between those two cards. But we see the sun coming up in the outcome, in the future position, and that's a beautiful card because it's saying that things are going to change for the better. They really, really are. So I feel for some of you guys that you're probably in the workplace in a funk, if you like. F-U-N-K, by the way. Can be around other people. It can simply be around the conditions that you work in. But I get the feeling that things need to change, and that's why we've got the Wheel of Fortune here to say that there's some big changes that are coming up in terms of work, because it does lead to the sun. And when we get the sun, it means things are turning better. There is a light shone on a situation, and things are going to be starting to look upwards. They're starting to look positive. You might even start really, really liking what you do or loving where you are. It's wonderful that we see the outcome card as being, after these two Macabre cards, the sun. So it shows that this situation here, whatever this is that you're going through, Taurus, is not going to last because you've got something really positive to look forward to. For some of you guys, it might be that you leave a job because the sun card often represents new opportunities that come to us. But also the sun card can simply, the sun, you know, I always find the sun card to be one of the most, how can I say, one of the most timid of the majors, to be perfectly honest with you. I just, you know, to me the card never really has a really strong apparent thing, not unless I'm looking at the sun in the sky. When I moved to my flat, I did a reading to see how it would go. I don't know whether I told you guys, and I got the Eight of Swords and the sun, these two cards in the outcome. And I thought, well, why is it... At first I got the Eight of Swords, and I was like, well, why is it telling me the Eight of Swords? I'm moving to somewhere that's bright, it's airy, it's lovely, I'm going to be happy. Why is it telling me the Eight of Swords? And so I pulled another card to give me clarification, to show me why I had the Eight of Swords. And it showed me the sun. And what that actually meant, as I soon came to know, was I would be feeling frustrated because of the sun. Because when the sun shines through my windows, Taurus, it heats my whole flat up like a furnace. It's so uncomfortable. That's why I got really ill. Even with a window open, it's still hot. Terrible, because the sun burns the window and it reflects the light back into the place and it just burns everything up. And that's why the universe was telling me, you're going to be feeling frustrated, Carol, with the Eight of Swords because the sun's shining right through your window and there's not a lot you can do about it. But in this case, that's not the case. What we're seeing here is right now, because remember, you've got past, present, future, or you've got future, future, future. Everything's leading future-wise, and your last card is the sun. So the sun says it could be that new opportunities coming, but I'm very dubious to say new opportunities, because the sun for me in the tarot is one of my least... I love the card, yes, but at the same time, in a way, it's one of my least favourite cards, because I never really see the results from that card a lot of the time. I see the results from things like the Magician and the Wheel of Fortune. But then, you know, the sun really is there. It's very subtle, I think. I think what I'm trying to say is I feel it's a very subtle card. And really what this is saying is that everything's going to be okay, everything's going to work out just fine for you, okay? You're going to be liberated from a lot of doubts, which we're seeing in the Moon and that Eight of Swords, okay? The overall outcome for your career is the High Priest. And I found that really interesting that would be the overall outcome. The only thing I could think of so far with that as an overall outcome is that your happiness is attributed probably to some guidance that you received. So it could be that if there are conditions, for example, within the workplace that you're not too happy with at the moment, Taurus, and things desperately need to change, well, your outcome is showing us a sun in the future, which is great, which shows that there are very positive changes happening. And it could be that the Hierophant represents the establishment. So it lies with them. They're going to actually bring in the changes. Because remember, the High Priest, what happens when you get a High Priest, or the Hierophant. The Hierophant represents establishments, can be education, can be religion, can be corporate. Usually represents large corporations or big corporations where there is a set belief system. So things are done in a certain way. For example, you wear a shirt and you wear a tie to work. Okay, man wears shirt, tie, woman wears skirt, blouse, that type of thing. You know, it's the powers that be. The powers that be have greater power than you do. So you have very little say in what they do. And it could be that you have very little say here, which is what's causing this problem here for you. But it says that wheel of positive change. We've got the sun linked to that wheel of fortune in the future. And it says that, you know, the big changes that are coming in are bringing something very fortunate and very positive to you. And the overall outcome is that the decision lies with the high priest. So it's something I feel that the high priest does, i.e. the establishment, the corporation, that brings these long-standing changes in. And remember, when you get number 5s, they are to do with conflicts, but they're also to do with conflicts that lead to change. So I see changes for the better coming in terms of work. If it's a case of you're going through problems with work colleagues with that moon and the 8 of swords, know that it's going to be worked out because we've got the sun. And again, it's the high priest. It could be the advice that you receive, HR, management, that type of thing. Very, very good reading. Let's have a quick look at your love section. We have an Emperor showing here. Emperor can represent, sorry, I'm just having a look. I'm always having a look at the time because I know that this camera will only go up to 50 minutes or so. So love, we've got an Emperor, all right? Emperor can be an older man, authority. Usually it's a male figure, okay? Authoritarian male figure, but for the purpose of the reading, we'll say it's an older figure potentially, okay? Usually represents bosses, fathers, husbands, uncles, people who have great control and great power. So for some of you guys, the influence that you might be feeling in terms of your love life might be that you're feeling a sense of restriction maybe around this individual. The problem with the Emperor is that he is very domineering. So it might be a domineering relationship that you guys are involved with that Emperor card, okay, in terms of love. It can be somebody who likes to set the goals, the barriers of the relationship, and maybe you don't adhere to that very well, okay? But the Emperor can also be a card where we are creating order for ourselves, all right? Where we are creating some kind of structure. So you get it, for me, in terms of love, you get an Emperor. A lot of the time I've seen that I've got an Emperor where the control has lain with one person, but also where people have been trying to create a power team. Especially like you get Empress and Emperor together. I've seen this combination show up for a power couple, in terms of love. So it's, you know, it can be, for some of you guys, you're just trying to create some order with the Emperor card in terms of love, and you need things to be running smoothly because maybe things have been a little bit chaotic potentially. Around this Justice, so maybe for some of you guys, there's a marriage to an older person. Usually when you get the Justice card, it's to do with balance, harmony, it's to do with the idea that one cycle is ending, another one begins. It can be to do with contracts, as I said, marriages, but it can also be to do with divorces. So something like Justice and the 10 of Pentacles in the reverse I've seen to relate to a divorce, or the 10 of Cups in the reverse to relate to a divorce, or Justice and the Ace of Swords potentially. Okay, I've seen a lot of combinations with Justice that relate to divorce. But here we've got a contract. So around this Emperor, could be an older figure, could be an authority. It doesn't even have to be an older person. It can just be somebody who is highly opinionated and somebody who is highly dominant in terms of a relationship. We see that there was a contract, perhaps in the past. This seems to have been evaluated with the 7 of Pentacles in the present. So it could be for some of you guys, there is a marriage that you are evaluating in terms of love. Okay? Because when you get the 7 of Pentacles, the 7 of Pentacles is really a card that says, you know, I'm reviewing and I'm re-evaluating what I have. Literally what I have. What have we built up, realistically? Look at those 6 Pentacles here and the 1 here. This person is looking at what they've built up. Is it worth still building on this? Or should I be looking in a new direction? Sometimes you get this card where it will say, you know what, I'm really disappointed in what I've built up here and I think I'll just go it alone. So sometimes in love, this person can be like, you know what, I'm really sort of disappointed in what we've done in this relationship here. It's not enough. I would have expected it to be more by now. So I think I'll just, with this one pentacle, head off for a fresh start. I'll just go it alone. The outcome is interesting because we have the King of Cups. And the King of Cups means a mutual understanding, or you're coming to an understanding. So I feel that for some of you guys here, there is someone who you probably feel a little bit, you could be feeling oppressed by this person. I've known the Emperor to mean a very oppressive individual, but the Emperor can also be a very helpful individual, okay? He can be somebody who tries to set you on the straight and narrow, but a lot of the time it's according to his own worldly wisdom, what he has learnt going forward in his own life. But perhaps it doesn't bode with what you want to do. And everything that he says about his life is based on what he has experienced and not on your experiences. So this is why I feel sometimes the Emperor can be a one-sided figure. Okay, around this is justice. So probably it's big decision time. You've weighed up all the pros and cons of the relationship with this person, with justice. And now you need to make the decision because the Seven of Pentacles, and we know that sevens often relate to having to make decisions. Okay, it's actually having to make a decision on something. Seven of Pentacles, Seven of Cups. Seven of Wands to a certain degree, but you know there's conflict within all the sevens in a way, and usually it's internal. But the Seven of Pentacles is, do I carry on investing? I'm reevaluating what I have built here, and should I continue doing it or should I move on to something else? And therefore, with the King of Cups, it's reaching that emotional balance, that emotional awareness of what it is that you need to do. So for some of you guys, it could literally be that with that King of Cups, you decide just to weather the storm. Because the King of Cups says, you know, I know exactly where everything's at. I'm okay with it. I'm just going to stick with it. So sometimes this card can show up for somebody who has a drink or washes their problems away in a cup of wine, because they are trying to be oblivious or they are trying to kind of ignore what's going on. All right, so the King of Cups, I love the King of Cups card, but I also can affiliate with this card as being, not that I drink, but I can affiliate with this card as being someone who will wash their problems away in a cup. Okay, because they're on rocky water. But the one thing that they are sure of is their drink. They're sitting on rocky water, but they are holding the drink, the cup, very, very sturdy. So they're sure of the drink. For some of you guys, it might be that you wash your problems away off this relationship in drink. Because you just decide, you know what, this is it, I'm just going to deal with it as it is. For some of you guys, it might be that you reach a mutual understanding within your relationship. For some of you, it might be that somebody else comes in the future. But it leads to the moon being your overall outcome for the relationship section. Let's have a look, where are we? Oh, 52 minutes, okay. And the moon says, you know, there's going to just be up and downs within your relationship potentially, okay? You might be going through a really difficult phase in terms of the relationship section, okay? Because I don't see affairs going on here or anything. What I see is a relationship that you kind of, for some of you guys, you might just put up with it because of that King of Cups in the outcome. King of Cups is a great card because it does speak about emotional awareness, but where does the emotional awareness lead to? Because he is just keeping his head in a crisis. So if things aren't working out here and you're needing to reevaluate, then to me this says, okay, I've reevaluated stuff within the relationship and I think we'll just keep things as they are and we'll just deal with it and I'll just have a drink at night and just cope with whatever's going on. And the moon card can mean, you know what? I feel such intensity around this. I feel up and down. I feel really sad at times. At times I feel that I don't know what's happening. I feel a sense of disappointment, maybe a little bit of disillusion going on here. Okay, this is what this can all relate to. So I get a sense of just real, I don't know whether to call it real sadness. You know, it might be that you decide to stay with your partner with the King of Cups energy because there is an emotional understanding between the both of you, to which the moon card can say, you know, I'm finding it difficult to release this relationship because there's such a psychic connection between us. There's such a, you know, there's something there that suggests that there is still a very strong bond, a very strong link, and I can't let go of that. The other thing to say, guys, is the King of Cups can mean apparently to be flirtatious and to be meeting different suitors and that type of thing going forward. So potentially, if that's the case, if you decide to go your own way, there might be meetings with especially if it is a King of Cups that comes into your life, okay? This will be a very understanding, loving, spiritual person. And it could be with the moon that you end up having a very deep and spiritual connection with that person going forward with the moon card. Okay, moon card's not always bad at all, but it means some very intense, and it would be interesting actually, because if this person of the Emperor, if you're trying to create order in your life as well as having this type of figure in your life, you can't really get a spiritual connection with an Emperor, I don't feel, because the Emperor deals in facts, figures, logic and reason. King of Cups doesn't deal in that. King of Cups is a completely different kettle of fish altogether. He's far more emotional and he's far more in touch with his emotions. So it could be, yes, there is somebody around you who you're finding it hard to connect to because of where they're coming from as an individual. You might have to make a big decision because you've been weighing up the pros and cons of this relationship. You're looking at exactly what it is that you've invested in the relationship and whether it's still worth continuing. You might decide to go your different way, and therefore you may get a King of Cups that comes in. Somebody who's far, far different from this guy. And therefore, because of who you are as an individual, now I know that Taurians are usually quite practical individuals, but everybody has emotions. And just because you're Earth, it doesn't mean that you lack emotion. If anything, it heightens it, I feel. Because water, King of Cups, feeds Earth. And I feel that because you're Taurus and you're Earth, so you're mud, you're dirt, because we've got a King of Cups and he's water, naturally you pour water onto Earth and all sorts of things start to sprout. And therefore, in the outcome, the moon can say that you start to flourish. You start to flourish psychically, intuitively, emotionally. This person probably starts to bring the best out in you if this person should come along. So it's not all bad at all. You know, sometimes I get into this groove of seeing the moon card as being a really negative card, but no, I don't actually. Not at all. Not at all. It just depends on how it's aspected. And I feel that if this person comes in, being that you are an earth sign, we know that earth and water mix. Okay? We know that it mixes astrologically. All right? I feel that there is a very strong connection, not only physically but mentally between the both of you, and it results in the moon. Beautiful, beautiful psychic connection, beautiful spiritual connection. We know that the Taurus is represented by the Hierophant within astrology. Within the major arcana cards. Okay? So, the Hierophant is someone who is very spiritually and divinely connected. Okay, and I feel that this is for a lot of you guys what you want to be getting back to, because I feel that this person here, if he's around you, isn't bringing that to you. He or she, they're not bringing it to you. Everything is to do with formalities. And there we know that the Hierophant also is a card about having a set of beliefs and doing things in a certain way. Well, maybe your certain way of doing things is to connect more spiritually rather than logically to a person. So maybe your ideals are based more on faith and what is unseen rather than science and what is seen, if that makes any sense, which I feel the Emperor can often represent. It's a beautiful reading. Some of you guys, you'll decide to stick into a relationship and you'll probably have a drink and get through it for some of you, and therefore it might lead to a bit of depression with that moon card. For some of you guys, I feel that you'll decide to go your own way. You'll probably meet somebody who connects with you far better than the Emperor does, and it results in a really deep and passionate relationship. Finally, we're going to have a look at your future card. Knight of Wands is showing up here. We can see that there's a move, new adventure. When you get knights, they represent adventures that come into your life, moves, taking new direction. So Knight of Wands often means it can be somebody who suddenly rushes into your life. He's filled with lots of passion, but then he can also rush out very, very quickly. Knight of Wands for me is often usually they don't really represent people, but they represent actions that people take. I feel that there is a move here that you are taking. You might even be doing something impulsive in the future, because the Knight of Wands can represent an impulsive action that's taken, but usually this is to do with a career move, home move, that type of thing. We've got the Three of Cups around that, and there's a lot of celebration, it would seem, around this move here. Okay? So you might even be devising new friendships. But what I'm looking at, what's interesting, is we can see somebody on the Two of Wands next door, and he's offering something to these Three of Cups. So I feel that there is a risk that some of you guys probably take in the future, okay? I feel that you're going to be offering something, maybe to a team of people, okay? I feel that you're going to be looking at doing something new, maybe offering some form of skill that you have, offering an idea, because often when I look at the Two of Wands, it's about a new vision. Somebody's got a vision to take something out into the world, and we've got a wand here, and this is the Ace of Wands. This is the new idea. This is the spark of an idea, and you're looking to offer this to the world. Perhaps you're looking to offer it to a team of people here. And remember, we can go anywhere with this reading here, because it's future, all future. Everything really here is possibly future, but this is all future here. So I see you looking to offer an idea, maybe to a group of people here. The outcome seems to be that you start putting things into development, and you start to actually open up a little bit more about this, because the Three of Pentacles is often to do with new projects, waiting on outcomes. You might be involved in a project that you're really passionate about, okay? So this might actually bring new people on, or more people here. We've got 2 threes. And when you get threes in a reading, they suggest more than one person is involved, obviously. And I'm seeing this as being sort of a team effort here. But it all derives from one idea. And it's almost like with these two on this side, and this is your centre card, that through one idea here, you're able to bring lots of people on board with it. Okay? But remember, the Three of Pentacles is also one of those cards where you can be asking advice. So maybe people are asking you advice on something. Maybe you start building something up where you're the one who is at the forefront, where you're the one that's giving the advice to others, potentially. So maybe the idea that you're offering to this team is to build a new business, which results in you in the spotlight here. Maybe you're wanting backing from these people here, which results in you being in the spotlight. Maybe people coming to you for advice. Maybe you're the one that's looking to build a new business in which you're in the forefront, you're running it, but you might need some backing from a certain team or certain people. We're definitely seeing a move, so it could be a move in career, moving to running your own business, that type of thing. But the Three of Pentacles suggests, okay, that there's some major achievements that you're going to be making in the future based on an idea that you maybe offer out to others. Okay, so for example, it could be things like franchising. Okay, I'm just getting that idea that this Two of Wands being offered to that Three of Cups, the idea being offered to people, group of people or friends or that type of thing. Pyramid schemes, franchising, selling a franchise, selling an idea that other people are able to develop and build on. So if you look at this, it's very interesting really. You get a guy in the middle, he offers an idea to the Three of Cups. So this is a group of people here. So it can be kind of, for some of you guys, it might even be that you're networking, that you are attending seminars, that you're even giving a seminar to people. I get the feeling that this is selling an idea. Even though we don't have pentacles, it doesn't matter, we've got a pentacle here card. I feel that this is selling an idea to a group of people. It could be franchising, networking, attending a seminar, giving a seminar on a certain thing for some of you guys. And it results in somebody, if you look at this, it looks like a pyramid. I'm not saying, I mean, I know that pyramid schemes get a lot of flack. I've never really done one, but surely there's got to be pyramid schemes out there that work, that aren't that bad. But whatever you want to call it, I don't know whether it's called a pyramid scheme today, but there's something that is being built on here, because we can see others offering as well. I can see others offering the same thing. So it's almost like you're working on a franchise or something that you can offer out to others, that they can offer out to others, that they can offer out to others, if that makes any sense. And also the Knight of Wands can mean travel. Remember, it's ruled by Sagittarius. When you get a Knight of Wands, that usually means a Sagittarius individual or Sagittarius energy. And we know that Sagittarius rules the 9th house, I think, of travel. So this could be where you're actually doing a lot of travelling. And because we've got this Two of Wands here, this would suggest that whatever it is that you're travelling around with, you're going worldwide or nationwide, and you're offering it to several different groups of people, and they are offering it to others. The High Priestess shows as the overall outcome. It says to me it's not going to be a success overnight. It says to me that there will be some patience that is required on your part, because the High Priestess often means to wait. Wait until the revelation is ready to come to you. Wait until the secret's ready to be revealed. So it might be that you're having to build something here. I get the feeling that this is in terms of business for some of you Taurus people. And I feel that this will be a case of having to wait until this builds. Which is why you've got the High Priestess, patience, waiting for the outcome. And finally, let's just have a look at your wishes, Wheel of Fortune, Wheel of the Year. Well, that's how you're heading, where you're hoping everything is going to go. Wheel of the Year is luck, often looking for, especially if the Wheel of the Year is your wish card, where you're wishing for luck or you're wishing for a change in circumstances. Wheel of the Year, usually in its fundamental explanation of that card, is to do with success, is to do with monetary success. Usually, a lot of the time, this card refers to financial success or financial changes or financial luck. But really, what it's saying is with the Wheel of Fortune, you know, I hope some good luck comes in for me. And that's what your Wheel of Fortune is. So I feel in all areas, you're looking for things to kind of work out in the right way. Nobody would ever wish for the Wheel of Fortune to be like in the reverse or to stop or to move in a nasty way. We all want the Wheel of Fortune to benefit us. So I feel that you're looking for things to benefit you, things to change that will end up benefiting you going forward. And your overall outcome card is the Magician. And the Magician says that this is a time for starting over again, making new moves. It's also telling you where everything is heading is towards you being in control. Because when you get a Magician card, it not only means that you are in control, you have everything at your disposal to make something work. It also says that you're at a point of manifestation, where you only have to speak the words. Remember, the Magician is based on the premise of ideas and communication. So whatever it is that you communicate or think about, you bring about. So it says, choose your words carefully. Choose your words carefully with the Magician. Seriously, I've seen this card in action. Choose your words carefully. Because the outcome is everything that you think, feel and say, you will bring about into your dominion. Okay? So if you think positively about where things are going in terms of work, even if things probably aren't working out, we see the sun here. And that says that your actions have actually brought about something positive. Even within the future, we can see that you're working hard at something. A lot of travel here, Taurus. But the outcome is the High Priestess. Usually it's a number 2 card. It means to wait. Have to be patient. You have to just go with the flow. Okay? But the overall outcome is you're starting to manifest stuff into your realm. Even though you might not be able to see it, you are starting to manifest it. The same as your home life area. Okay? There are new starts, new beginnings. Remember, the Magician rules the aces. So we can see that there are new beginnings all around. So I feel the overall outcome is, number 1, you will be manifesting your greatest desires over the next 5 months. But you need to stay with it. Number 2, you are very much going to be in control of your destiny, okay? So whatever decisions you make will have long-reaching effects as to what happens with you in the future, and also, I feel, going into 2017. You have everything at your disposal to make things work. You need to think positively. You need to be in control of who you are and know that you're the only one that can change your destiny going forward. And finally, your advice card is the 10 of Cups. It's not going to be easy, but you'll get there. It was never easy for these people to get to buy their own house. And this is why they're jumping for joy with their kids. Because it's been a long trek to get to where they are. For some of you guys, you may be saying goodbye, because 10 of Cups can mean that there are big changes, happy endings coming in, but also saying goodbye to certain situations. Okay? This card also talks about having some very, very successful outcomes coming into your life. We can see successful outcomes here. Okay, we can see, especially in your personal situation, especially in your work situation, home situation. Love life is up for debate. Definitely, I feel in the future, but there will be some waiting. So, you know, staying the course, because things are really going to turn out very, very well. And you are going to be feeling more fulfilled. All right, Taurus, that's your reading. Last minute, they are really tiring to do, really, really knackering to do, geez. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me on Carol's Universe, and I will see you guys soon on your September reading. Take care.